Howdy everyone. The top cowling is now completely drilled and clecoed to the fuselage. It was very simple to just reach up from underneath with a flashlight and a marker and mark through the pre-drilled holes in the hinge and make a mark directly on the cowling. Take the cowling off, drill those holes with a small drill bit, and then bring it back into place and match drill through those holes from the outside. That worked out very well. I did about 5 or 6 holes at a time, small segments. So I would mark from underneath, take the cowling off, drill those holes with a small drill bit, bring the cowling back on, reposition it, make sure everything is still aligned correctly, and then match drill those holes, put clecos in those to help hold it in place. Again, verify the alignment, reach up underneath, do 5 or 6, 7 more, mark them, take it off, drill it, bring it back, cleco it, match drill it, cleco those, and just work myself all the way around from this side to the other side. And everything is working out incredibly well at the moment. It's fully drilled, fully clecoed. My gaps in relation to the backing plate of the spinner are really nice. And then my seams at the moment are also very nice all the way around on both sides. One thing to remember is this. This hinge is an 1/8 inch hinge pin knuckle. So the knuckle for this hinge is for an 1/8 inch pin, but we're using a 90 thousandths pin so that it's easy to bend and easy to get the pin in and out. So that means there's slop. So you can see the movement between the cowling and the fuselage. However, when you get the bottom attached to the fuselage and you get it attached to the top cowling, I'm sure all of that movement will cease to exist because these pins will be 1/8 inch and then it gets attached across the bottom with screws. So the bottom cowling is going to be attached nice and solid, and then the top cowling will be attached to it. So this movement will not be a factor. So I think what I'm going to do now is leave this like it is. I'm going to pre-cut the notches on the bottom cowling to clear the gear leg. Now you don't need to get crazy with that as far as being precise, because that will get covered up. I don't know if this is the correct one. Yeah. That hole that you cut here in the bottom cowling will ultimately be hidden behind the gear leg intersection fairing. So I'm not going to get too crazy with trying to make this cutout an exact fit. I'll probably be pretty generous with it. And start with that, get those cut, and then see if I can't figure out a good way to start fitting the cowling up underneath and getting it fitted to the fuselage and the top. All right. So that's what I would recommend. It worked out very well for me. It's just reach up underneath and mark with a marker and then take it off, drill it, and repeat until you get them all finished. Okay. Talk to you guys later. Howdy, everyone. So this is a preliminary fit of the bottom cowling. Now, just to recap real quick, of course, the top cowling for the most part is finished. It's been fitted, it's been trimmed, and it is now clecoed to the fuselage. I still have my spacer up underneath the front to maintain the spacing between the top of the fairing and the top of the backing plate for the spinner. So the top cowling is in place and it's not moving. So now I'm fitting the bottom cowling to it. And you'll remember that, as per the instructions, I started with just having the cowlings on the floor. and I was trying to get this front area to fit nice. And I got it close, but I stopped because I didn't want to start taking off too much, so much that it may impact how this fits with the bottom cowling. So then I decided to go ahead and start fitting the bottom, which is where I am now. The first thing I had to do was make my cutouts for the gear leg. You can see those here. I did my preliminary cuts just to get the cowling to kind of fit, and then I took some measurements so that both sides would be equal. I basically just did a measurement from this edge down a certain amount on both sides, and then I measured the width, and then I measured from this edge forward on both sides, and then cut the holes just to keep them both, like I said, symmetric. Not that it matters, because the intersection fairing here will cover all of this. Make sure you don't make your opening so big that it's outside of the intersection fairing. But you want room in here because things are going to shift around and flex. So you can be generous with it, but to make sure you leave yourself enough material that you can screw the intersection fairing in place. These still need to be finished. They've just been rough cut. They're to the correct size, but I just need to sand them down and round off the corners, and those will be done. So now what I think I'll do is, I can't close up this gap here because I need to work the bottom up some more, but I can't at the moment because you can see that it's tight here. I'm just not to that point yet. I really want to get this front together, and I don't know how I'm going to do it because you can see here there's a pretty good step here between the top and bottom cowling, and it doesn't fit good here. And it's the same on this side. I've got a major step in here, and you can see that this just does not fit well at all. So I'm going to deal with that, and I think in order to deal with that, I'm going to have to take both cowlings off of the airplane and set it on the ground and kind of work that some more. So I think that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to try to get that front fitted better, and then I can come back and work on the other things. Talk to you guys later. Hello. What the heck?